Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
Oh, is it Cade, right?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just got a missed call from this number, and I don't have this number saved.
That's okay. I just wondered if you were going to sign the petition to set Britney Spears free and just come to the protests.
Who is this?
It's Decoding Celebrities.
Welcome to Decoding Celebrities. The testimonies and opinions expressed by guests on the show are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of myself or affiliates of this podcast. Everything in this podcast is alleged and not confirmation of validity of allegations. During today's podcast, as a tribute to my good friend, Matthew Parker, who is the author, the one that wrote the petition, the Justice for Britney petition, Matthew has created some commercials because this podcast is new. So obviously I do not have any brand endorsements. Who knows? Maybe down the line we will. But right now we're going to periodically insert some commercials Matthew has recorded for the Decoding Celebrities podcast. So from time to time we will hear take a break and hear a word from our Matthew sponsor.
From the makers of cake batter farts, we're moving on to savory flavors as well. Falafel farts, quesadilla farts, and everybody's favorite, guacamolefarts.com. Guacamolefarts.com in you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Decoding Celebrities. It's Jessica Seitz here. And on today's episode, we're going to cover somebody supposedly very close to Britney Spears, and that is Cade Hudson, Britney Spears' manager, not to be confused with Cade Hudson. Cade Hudson is an actress. This is Cade, C-A-D-E, because everybody always gets those two things confused, or two people confused, I should say. So the reason I've decided to kind of deep dive Cade a little bit and just kind of discuss some things about Britney's manager is because A, they are supposedly very, very close friends. And obviously Cade, like I said, is Britney's manager. Allegedly, I and a friend may or may not have made a phone call asking Cade if Cade was going to be attending Britney's protest, which is coming up. We will be having a peaceful protest at the P. Diddy trial in June 27th, Friday, and again, June 30th, Monday. It's the Justice for Britney movement. And so before I get into the rest of the podcast where we're going to talk about Cade, wanted to let you guys know we have a website now. It's justiceforbritney.net, and it's a easier way for you guys to be able to see what's going on, keep up with the movement. And there's an easy link there to sign the petition for Britney Spears. It's got everything laid out what the petition is about. And we also have an email, info@justiceforbritney.net, that you can also email us with any questions. So the phone call, let's just talk about it. I'm here laughing by myself, was a phone call that we made, like I said, where a friend of mine asked Cade if he would be coming to this protest that's coming up, and also if he was willing to sign the petition. Basically, no response as far as to those questions. It was more, who is this? What are you talking about? Kind of response. And then you could hear somebody in the background tell Cade to hang up the phone.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
Oh, is it Cade, right?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just got a missed call from this number, and I don't have this number saved.
That's okay. I just wondered if you were going to sign the petition to set Britney Spears free and just come to the protests.
Who is this?
It's your old friend. We got drunk at the bar and you gave me your number, and I'm going to set Britney free.
I don't know who you're talking about. What are you talking about? Who is this?
What you guys don't know is that after that, we were hung up on, and then we were called again. And then we just had a lot of heavy breathing sounds. I'm having a heart attack.
Someone's ringing my buzzer right now.
What buzzer?
Now he's calling me back from an unknown number.
Hello? 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 Who's this? Hello? Cade? Cade! Cade, we just want to know what's going on with Britney. We're worried. Please. Some people got their panties in a wad about it, which I don't really understand, because if you are a true Britney advocate, a true Britney supporter, you're a supporter for the Justice for Britney movement, you know Cade is not necessarily the best person in, I would say, most of our opinions. So let's kind of discuss some things with Cade and how we got to this point. Cade Hudson became Britney's manager in 2022. And this was after her longtime manager, Larry Rudolph, left Britney in 2021. Supposedly no hard feelings. Larry Rudolph said he would always be there for Britney. I think it was maybe a mutual parting. It kind of coincided with the end of her almost 14-year conservatorship. And I think it was time for new changes. When Cade initially came into the industry, Cade was working at a place called Full Picture. It's a marketing brand management firm. He was there for 5 years up until about 2014. And then he later moved to CAA as an agent for commercial endorsements. Cade kind of started off a little bit of a rocky start. He had a bit of a scandal. There was an article written in the Los Angeles Times on December 9th of 2017. The article discusses about an alleged offer sexually that Cade made to an actor named Sean Rose in 2013. Here's the story. Cade invited him to hang out at his home near West Hollywood after midnight one night. Sean Rose, the actor, said he agreed because he wanted to build relationships in hopes of finding more acting work. They had briefly met only 2 other times before. Once in a parking lot where Cade introduced himself as a publicist, and another time later on at a hotel in Bel Air where Sean Rose was working. Rose said that when he had met Cade, or times that they had maybe texted in the past, that Cade constantly mentioned all the friends that he had in the industry, and that he, upon Cade's suggestion, should pursue a career in modeling because he had the look. So reluctantly, I think that night when he was invited to come to Cade's home after midnight, Sean brought a friend with him. That was smart, actually. Good job on that. And Rose told his friend after they left about some eerie messages that he got from Cade that night while he was in his home. Sean Rose said, Hudson spilled a drink on his lap and proceeded, once he spilled the drink, to wipe his pants and touch his inner thigh inappropriately. Rose was mortified and he pushed his hand away quickly. I guess he got up to go change or borrow pants, or I'm not sure whose pants he was changing into, but he went to another room to change pants after that. When he was in the room changing, Cade texted him and said, I'll pay you $500 if you have your friend bounce. Like, get out of here. I guess Rose wrote back and said, LOL, I have to go soon. Then Cade said, even though Cade knew that Sean Rose, the actor, was heterosexual and Cade was in fact a gay man, I'll pay you $1,000 to stay. And then he said to Rose, I know you're straight. Getting oral sex isn't gay, you know. All you gotta do is sit back and relax. Okay, before I go on, what the fuck? I feel like that song, hey, what the fuck? Okay, I can't imagine this awkward situation for this man. Like, literally, to be in this agent's house that you're hoping to get jobs and hoping to meet people in the industry, and now you've got him texting you. You're trapped in his room changing your pants, and this man is messaging you to get rid of the friend. I feel like vomiting. He didn't say I feel like vomiting. That's me. If a BJ happens tonight, I'll make sure you meet her tomorrow. And he was referring his friend, it's an actress, Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried? I don't know how the hell to say her name. She's a popular actress and good friends with Cade. I'll have you meet with any director this week that I can. Sean Rose texted back, in quotes, dude, friends. And this part makes me laugh. I'm not that desperate to make it work. Like, I thought that was a great comeback. Dude, I'm not that desperate, seriously, to make it in the acting world. Not enough to do all that. Years later, okay, so he got out of that situation. He left. I guess he confided in his friend. He told his friend everything as they left. Years later, Sean Rose spoke to Cade and said, I want you to know that I wasn't comfortable with what happened years ago. And Cade's response was, I was drunk at the time. I'm sober now. So I guess this was during the time that a lot of allegations were coming out about people, a lot of allegations about other agents. There was different things coming out in the news. And I think that prompted Sean Rose to be like, listen, I need to bring this up. I want to tell him that was inappropriate, you know? So they texted back and forth, and they decided that they were going to meet up in person to talk about this. They set up a mutual location to meet and eat dinner, and evidently Cade canceled just shortly before the actual meeting. So I guess Sean Rose took it upon himself to contact the Los Angeles Times and spoke his story. Good job. Good for you. And this was all corroborated by the text messages that he still had, that the Los Angeles Times was in fact able to trace back that it is in fact Cade Hudson's phone number, and that those were legitimate text messages. All those allegations came out, and needless to say, Cade said that he didn't think it was a big deal, that in fact Sean Rose still followed him on social media and had liked a few of his posts, and therefore he didn't remember the whole thing about spilling the drink. He didn't remember any of that, but it was all in good fun. Cade's lawyers drafted a letter to Sean Rose, a legal formality that allegedly threatened him, and then Sean Rose essentially never spoke out again. Now, while I would love to say that this was the only allegation against Cade Hudson, actually, Mariah Carey's former assistant, Matthew Stevens, who also is a content creator, very popular on TikTok, also had some allegations against Cade Hudson after they met up on a dating app. Let's take a listen to a video that he posted on his TikTok.
I first met Cade in 2016 off of a entertainment industry dating app, which I will not name because they're very strict. So we matched. It was a rainy day in LA. He invited me over to hang out. I did make it clear to him that I was not interested in having sex. I know, very naive of me, but he assured me that I was just going to come over, we were going to watch TV and order some takeout. So I arrived at this large home in Beverly Hills, which he had told me was his, and insists that we hang out in the bedroom, which I thought was weird. I still remember Real Housewives of New Jersey was playing. I said, okay, but I again reiterate, I'm not interested in having sex. He says, oh no, I just want to watch TV in here, but let me give you a tour real quick. He shows me around his bedroom. At this point, I take a seat in the bed and I say to him, yes, I took a seat in the bed. And I say to him, what do you want to order for food? I remember I suggested Thai food. He then sits down next to me and then lays down and then says, I'm actually not really hungry. Within seconds, he rolled towards me. He was hard and began to rub his against me. I said no. I pushed him off of me. He did it again. I said no and pushed him off of me again. Once it was clear that I was not going to fuck him, he told me that it was best that I leave, and I was happy to. I was very grossed out by the situation, just being like, wow, this guy's friends with these girls, and he literally tries to use their names and photos to try to fuck people.
So this was all obviously prior to taking over as Britney's manager. So like I was saying earlier, Cade has a lot of friends in the industry, a lot of close friends that are very, very high names. He, in fact, went to Paris Hilton's wedding. I believe it was in 2021, and he went with Emma Roberts. He has also been to a lot of birthday parties. Nikki Rothschild's birthday party, again, Paris Hilton's birthday party. He has tons of pictures with all these celebrities, so he is a very prominent agent in the industry. He also is well known for being able to impersonate Britney Spears, as in singing. He can almost like replicate Britney's voice. He tends to sing the song Hit Me Baby One More Time. He was recorded multiple times doing this. The first time, I believe, at one of her Vegas shows, and Britney called Cade on to do a little performance, and she's like, in fact, Cade can do my voice and he can sing pretty similar to me. And she seemed to actually get a kick out of it. So I will say, I believe Britney obviously is aware that he can do this. But a couple times he's been recorded doing this and mimicking her voice. Britney was not present, which is odd. And it almost seemed like the people there at the party were almost laughing at Britney's expense. I don't know. It seemed more like laughter and making fun of than it did like being in Britney's honor, I guess I should say. First time, I believe, was at Paris Hilton's birthday party in 2023. There's a recording out there of him singing. It's almost like they're doing karaoke and they're all laughing and he's singing the song. He did it again in 2024 at Nikki Rothschild's birthday party. So what I'm getting at is that Cade is already able to do Britney's voice very well. Even Britney herself agreed that he sounds very, very much like her. On January 9th of 2023 in Santa Monica, Cade Hudson had a birthday party, his 36th birthday party. There's a pretty famous picture that Paris Hilton posted of him, Britney, and herself on her Instagram page. And it supposedly is like, look at us at my birthday party. Britney responded on her IG, I believe the following day or shortly thereafter, in regards to that photo. And Britney said, I haven't been to a birthday party in forever. That image must have been from years ago. And she said she found it kind of creepy and weird, as did everybody else. Because what I will tell you is, I think everybody, as soon as they saw that photo, they realized something really awkward. Like, it looked out of place. Britney didn't look like Britney. If you look at the photo, the necklace that she's wearing is half missing. She actually has two necklaces on. One is the famous cameo pendant that she talks about that she says is her ID. And the other one is just like a really thin little necklace. But what's odd is that it's missing. Like, you can see it hanging and then there's no strings on the other side. And then it doesn't look like her. It looks like a young picture maybe of her that has been filtered multiple times. And where their arms are lined up, like, the clothing is kind of bubbled, or it looks wavy. It just looks strange, to the point that people were harassing Paris Hilton in her comments. They were like, this is not Britney. We thought you were cool, Paris. What are you on TeamCon? Are you part of them? Why would you post this picture of her? Britney herself is saying this isn't her, blah, blah, blah. And they kept on and they kept on, to the point that Paris felt the need to address it, and she did. She came back and she said, even though I don't feel like I owe any explanation, I will say that we wanted to lighten the picture and adjust the lighting a little bit. So I used an app called Remni, and that's why it looks heavily doctored or filtered, something to that extent. And maybe that's the case, but the whole point is Britney's IG said that she wasn't there. So that in itself right there is a huge red flag, okay? So this is around the time that things just weren't making sense on Britney's page. Britney didn't seem like Britney anymore. And then we begin to see more and more pictures of Britney and Cade together that are coming out on Britney's Instagram, on Cade's Instagram, which he now has privated, but just a lot more pictures of the two of them together. There was a whole incident with Britney's 42nd birthday party where supposedly she was hanging out with Cade and her brother and her new dog Snow. And there was, if you remember, there was this whole gas station incident where the dog, I believe, was injured and needed to get to the vet. They rushed the dog to the vet. They stopped at the gas station. But the odd thing was that Britney had Cade's clothing on, his shoes, his pajamas, and they made this trip. But it seemed like they were purposely being pictured at the gas station. They were purposely allowing all these pictures outside of their house. They were purposely allowing these pictures about going into the vet and coming out of the vet. And here's where we get into the time that Britney is constantly covering her mouth in these photos. And you can see that in just about almost every picture that they have posted of this night, of the 42nd birthday party. There's been a lot of other posts online of Cade dancing with so-called Britney. Her and Cade getting really snuggly out in the ocean together with Sam Asghari there. And yes, I know what some people are going to say, well, he's gay. Well, yes, but maybe he's bisexual, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's not Britney he's snuggling up with. It seemed, some of these clips seemed to be more than just like a friendship, if you will. I am going somewhere with this here in a moment. Take a break and hear a word from our Matthew sponsor.
Don't be at fault. Get some Epsom salt and soothe your anus with hot water.
Epsom salt and warm water can soothe hemorrhoids by reducing inflammation and relieving discomfort. The magnesium in Epsom salt promotes muscle relaxation, helping to ease the pain and swelling, while the warm water enhances blood flow for quicker healing. Don't be at fault. Get some Epsom salt.
There's been a lot of other odd stuff on Britney's Instagram of instances that it appeared that Britney looks manly. You can see a 5 o'clock shadow on Britney's face. You can see, it almost seems like when Britney turns, sometimes after doing a turn, that it appears that she does not have her breast anymore. There's been a lot of horrible editing and horrible shots. And I have found many, many, many images when you slow down the videos and pause them or just look, that it looks just like Cade. To the point that I've come up with Cadney. It's Cade and Britney, mixed together. And I think a lot of people will probably agree with me on that. I'm not saying that Cade does every stand-in on Britney's IG, but I do think that he is one of them, and I think that he has done quite a bit as a stand-in for Britney. It's almost like they're trying to keep up with this facade, this thing, and making it seem like she's still in control, or that she's here, but at the same time trying to make her look dumb. The AI that they're using is not good AI. It sucks. In my opinion, Cade's very good friends with Paris Hilton. It wouldn't be very hard. She owns a media company called 1111. It wouldn't be that hard to have Paris help Cade with some of these green screen or AI things. Paris has done all these deep fakes with the fake Tom Cruise that you've seen, and they're pretty spot on. Paris was at Britney's so-called wedding that Cade was at as well. And all of those pictures do not look at all like Britney. They all look AI generated. I don't know who the woman was that they picked to be at that wedding, but it doesn't look at all like Britney Spears. That was a complete fake wedding. Now, the question still lies, why are they doing this? Why is Cade doing this? Why is he continuing to put on this facade? We all know, we all see it. We all are aware that Britney doesn't seem to be Britney anymore on her IG. And it seems like they're trashing her, like they want her to look bad. In my opinion, that doesn't make Cade a very good friend if they're supposedly amazing friends. Why, as her manager, would he be allowing this to happen? Why would he be allowing her social media company to put up these images? Why are we allowing her to show her body parts on Instagram that you should not be exposing. It leads all these questions to be asked. What really, really triggers me and makes me think that Cade might be in this more and more so. Obviously, he's in it for the money, but we've recently discovered that Britney brands, okay, the trademark Britney branding, in the last year or so, Cade Hudson is now signing for Britney brands. So that means that not only is he her manager, but he's moved up in more of another financial role and has some huge role in Britney brands. Maybe he's getting profits from it. That is my opinion and my opinion only. If you go back to Britney's book, The Woman in Me, right? The only interview that they did was via email with People magazine, which is strange. There wasn't much promotion for the book from Britney herself at all, other than 2 AI videos that don't look like her. The interview, like I said, for People via email, and there was a photo shoot with that People magazine article. Now, online I have read, and you can see it in People magazine, that the photo shoot was done by Britney brands. I have read online, and this is alleged, this part, because the People magazine does not say Cade Hudson, but I have read that Cade Hudson took the photos for Britney brands. Now, for that article, why in God's name would they hire Cade Hudson to take the photos of Britney for that People magazine article? Wouldn't you want the best photographer in the world? I mean, no offense, Cade. Maybe you can do some decent pictures, but in my opinion, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So those photos obviously were sent to People magazine to be published, and those don't look like Britney at all either. Like, not even a tiny bit like the Britney Spears that we all know and love. The people that were helping promote the book, one of which largely was Paris Hilton on her social media, more so than Britney obviously promoted her own book, which also is odd. It kind of leads you to believe, was Paris getting a little cut of the pay, of the profits of the book to help promote it? I don't know. You guys can come to your own conclusions as far as that. Also, this book that we now know was ghost written, at the end, in the acknowledgments, one of the first people that they thank, Cade Hudson. Oh, what a coincidence. It says, "If you follow me on Instagram and you thought this book was going to be written in emojis, didn't you? Thank you to the team who worked so hard to help me bring my memoir into the world, including Cade Hudson, Matthew Rosengart, the lawyer that didn't do fucking shit for me, Kate Hoyt, I don't even know who that is." And then she names a few other people at Gallery Books. Yeah, that's a little bit odd to me that the first main person that she wants to thank is Cade Hudson. Here's the other real kicker here, and I have just found this out recently. Cade used to have a Cade Hudson fans page. I don't know how many fucking fans he could have that he needed a Cade Hudson. Why is that making me laugh? A Cade Hudson fan page, but he did, okay? And I have recently been sent, and I want to give credit to Instagram, the Anchored Lotus, because she's the one that shared these photos with me. Somebody shared with her pictures that were posted on his page prior to, this is all alleged, prior to Britney changing her name to Exilla. So this was prior to the name change on Instagram to Exilla, and then to Exilla Maria River Red, that whole thing. There are pictures with a woman, and I will put some of those in here. If you're listening and you want to see the pictures, you can go onto YouTube and see these. It's pictures of Cade with a woman that looks similar to Britney, but it's not. It's obviously not Britney. And they are tagged as the woman's name being Exilla. Now, the rumor is that Cade, as an agent, is also an agent for Exilla, which is one of Britney's body doubles. Okay, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that this is probably true. Now, what we are thinking is that all of these pictures that you're seeing with Cade being intimate or close or snuggly all this stuff about Britney's 42nd birthday and being coincidentally all these shots done in public. Somehow Cade is always in the mix, and it appears to be that this is the body double Exilla, and they're staging these events to make it appear that it is Britney Spears when in fact it's not. It's a lady that her name is actually Exilla. I mean, this is fucked up. You guys, I don't know why they're continuing this charade. I don't understand. You have to see the pictures yourself to understand, and they are all tagged as being Exilla. It's not her. It's not her. Maybe he has an intimate relationship with Exilla. Maybe he's exploring his sexuality with Exilla. It appears that way. I don't think that Britney is even that good of friends with Cade Hudson at all. In a recent interview that I did with Sean Phillip, Britney's prior friend back in the day, and aide, helper, whatever you want to call him, he explained to me how Paris and her weren't friends hardly at all. That those were all just kind of staged encounters, that Paris would come and tag along, but they were barely even friends. I feel in my gut, in my heart of hearts, that it's the same thing with Cade. Yeah, I'm sure that there's some photos of them because he became her manager. And there's some pictures that's actually Britney from years ago with Cade. But all of this hoopla in the last few years is a production by Cade, A, to make you think that Britney Spears is still in control and doing her own thing, and B, just for an egotistical freaking boost that he is best of friends with Britney Spears, and Cade is the manager, the person to have. He is just the best agent / manager in all of the land. When in fact, I feel like this is all just a fucking fabrication, and he is largely in control of what's going on. It's so bizarre, you guys. But I mean, if you want to look back at the videos that I have done about Cadney, and how you can tell that this is him in a lot of these freaking shots, in a lot of these body double shots, it has to be. And I really think, like I said, he's just feeding his own ego. He is yes, helping to continue the facade that this is Britney, but at the same time, it's like, well, shit, I might as well make her my BFF. We're best friends for life. I mean, like, my buddy, my Cade and me. No, it's not happening. I mean, why is he signing for Britney brands now? Why is he involved in every orchestration? Do you remember the one night, you guys, that she posted in that green dress with the famous white Versace sunglasses, and there's a bunch of men carrying her, like, on her side? I think it was shortly after she had gotten supposedly pictured going to a chicken shack, or I don't know, somewhere. But there was a video of her and Cade intimately dancing, very close, very close. And I know that girls can have gay friends and they can dance and, be all that, but it just seemed more than that. And it was taken down within a day or two. And then we were just left with those ones of her with visiting some random guys in the middle of the night, and they were licking her leg and all this strange stuff. In my opinion, Cade is slime. He's a slimy agent. He's in it for money. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. He obviously has some problems with soliciting people sexually. That's been, not proven in a court of law, but proven via text messages with Sean Rose. You've got all this connections with Paris Hilton and this whole shady fucking shit, and all of these weird photos, and pretty much, in my opinion, proof of Exilla is a body double for Britney. I think he's really close friends with Exilla, to be honest, and not Britney. God bless her, wherever the hell she is, whatever they're doing to her. Something ain't right here, you guys. So, for those of you that judged and said, how dare we talk to Cade Hudson on the phone and ask him, he deserves to be asked, okay? I'm sorry if he is going to go, if it's his friend, right? Britney is his friend. He claims at the end of the Free Britney movement, he finally took a stance, and after being bullied basically into it, okay, he finally made a stance and said, this was in July of 2021, after getting thousands of death threats and people saying that he is brainwashing her, which he probably is or did and is in on the whole plot, and he probably has her tied up somewhere. That's just my opinion. He finally spoke out and said, this is a violation of someone's basic human rights that were taken away from her. I've kept my mouth shut out of fear of losing my job. Oh, God. I'm officially done being quiet. Wow, you spoke up at the very end? What a guy. What a guy. I mean, and clearly that's why Britney thanked him in the book. I mean, he is just stand up. I don't even know what to say about that. So I thought if you stood up for her in the Free Britney movement, why wouldn't he stand up for her in the Justice for Britney movement, right? I mean, why is she still in a care plan? Doesn't he care about that? Doesn't he, as a friend, want to support her on that? So it was a simple question to Cade. Are you going to come to the peaceful protest? Are you going to sign her petition? We clearly did not get an answer on that. So I don't know, you guys be the judge yourself if you think he's a stand-up guy, or if you think that we shouldn't have spoken to him and asked him. I mean, I think it was a nice question. Could have been much worse what we said, but that's just my personal opinion. I also wanted to mention that there is a photo that Britney Spears posted on her IG that nobody knew who it was until it was confirmed later on by TMZ that the picture is Cade Hudson. It's a picture of a man's back, like in the mirror. And it says, Britney says, this is my uncle, with like a little emoji. What if his back is my face? I don't know. That to me is insinuating from somebody that Cade is probably the face of Britney Spears sometimes. That's just my personal opinion, and that was another post that was deleted and taken down off of Britney's IG. Coincidental? I think not. I think it kind of goes along with the whole same theme. Let's do also quickly a Britney Spears recap of this past week on Instagram. I think I'm going to start including this weekly in the podcast. Boy, we had some doozy posts this week. So we got one post where it's Britney. It appears to be, I think, in Mexico. I'm not sure. But she's in a nightgown with either like bathing suit bottoms or underwear or something, and those same hideous, god-awful brown shoes that she wears all the time. I don't know what the meaning of that is. But there's no music or anything playing. She has this caption on here that reads, the last time I wore an actual nightgown out was a La Perla nightgown at a premiere with Colin Farrell. I wonder why conservatorship had me wear 3 layers of tights for 20 years. Okay, couple odd things about this. First of all, the conservatorship wasn't 20 years. It was almost 14. So is that insinuating she's still in somewhat of a conservatorship? Probably. And then what also stands out to me is this whole Colin Farrell thing with the La Perla nightgown. So I looked up that photo of her and Colin Farrell at a premiere. And yes, in fact, she went to a premiere in 2002 with Colin Farrell, and she didn't have on a nightgown. It was a top. It was like they called it a pajama top in the news. She wore like really cute brown leathery jean type pants and this little diamond studded lacy top. I guess Britney didn't realize it was a pajama top, and it was. It really doesn't look like, it just looks like a cute little lacy, like corsety looking top, but it was a pajama top and they made a big deal about it. But what was odd was A, that wasn't a nightgown, and B, and one of my followers pointed this out to me, was that a video she posted several months back, the nightgown is a La Perla nightgown. So I'm like, is she trying to show us this old post, and she's trying to be like, go back to that and look at it? When you go back to that one, it's her dancing in a bathroom, and it is in fact a La Perla nightgown. And that's one where she's got a really, she says something down, I don't know what the hell she says. It's in an accent or another language, or I don't know. It sounds German. I'm not sure. So I'm like, is she trying to tell us that it is in fact doubles? And that was the hint, like to go look at another post with La Perla. But then I got another message from that same follower, and she's like, check out this video. So I look at it, and it's a girl on Instagram, and she claims that Britney Spears, or somebody at Britney's house, bought that nightgown used from her and wore it for that recording. The reason she figured it out was because the address was Thousand Oaks. And she was like, wow, that's, an expensive area. So she looked up the address online, was able to, look up what the house was, looked at pictures of the inside of the house, and it is, in fact, Britney Spears' house in Thousand Oaks. But she claims that the name the package was addressed to was not Britney Spears. It was a different name that she claims might be a fake name. But when I messaged her, she wouldn't tell me what the fake name was. She said she respects her client's privacy. But she posted about the address and that she sold Britney Spears' used pajama nightgown. I guess she was okay with exposing that, but she didn't want to tell me the fake name. But whatever. She only respects her privacy of her fake name. That's neither here nor there. But yes, it does seem, in fact, that this is legit. I don't think this lady's lying that she shipped it there. And but what's odd is, like, I wish that she would tell me the name, because maybe that would give us a hint as to who one of these doubles is, what the real double's name is. You know what I mean? That's neither here nor there. I just think it was very interesting. The whole thing was very odd. We also got some other posts of Britney with her bodyguard, the British bodyguard, and he is standing next to her, but it's basically the same outfit that they were when they landed in Mexico, but she's supposed to be in New York, but we're posting older pictures of her from her and him in Mexico. I don't know what the hell it all means. Some content creators are like, oh, that's definitely her. That's her. She's living her best life. Yeah, I know you're listening. That was for you. Anyways, so she's got like her hand held up. The hand looks ginormous, which is the first thing that I noticed. Britney's always commenting about her small hands. So that really stood out to me. And then the other thing was the smile changes dramatically in that little video clip. At one point, I think she's got like 6 front teeth, and then you can see gaps on either side where the teeth are missing. But then the smile changes into a full-fledged dentally, cosmic, beautifully sparkly smile. But, of course, I'm just digging here, and she's living her best life. Yeah. And then, of course, we had the typical post, delete, repost, delete. We had another one of her in a green dress spinning around. There are definitely some glitches in there. There's a few times that her face falls off, and one time, in fact, that she has 2 eyebrows on the same side of her face. There I'm going to be told that's a filter. That must just be the filter. I don't know. I don't have a filter that gives me 2 sets of eyebrows, but whatever. If anybody has that filter and wants to let me know what it is, that would be really cool. So maybe I could just shut up about it. I don't know. We also had Britney's name mentioned at the P. Diddy trial this week, as well as that she was, in fact, at Cassie's 21st birthday party, was brought there by P. Diddy as a guest with Dallas Austin. And so Britney's name was mentioned by Cassie at the trial. That was a big deal. And that was the night, in fact, before the VMA performance of Give Me More that did not go so well. And there's been a lot of hinting on Britney's page recently to New York. This whole going to New York thing. Is it hinting at maybe Britney's involvement with the Diddy trial. Is her name going to be called in more with the Diddy trial? Did Diddy done do it and Diddy drugged her? Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on her page that's been crazy. And another thing that I realized is back when Britney first started posting all this stuff about with the song Josie's on a vacation far, that's when she first started introducing apples. She's always showing apples or holding an apple to her head. Is it the Big Apple? Is it New York? Did Britney know that Diddy was going to be tried and this was all going to pull to New York? I don't know. You're going to say it's a far stretch? It could be, but these are just things that my mind happens to pull together, you know? Oh, and back to Cade Hudson. The other thing that I will say is, why is it that in every photo he has with Britney or with other celebrities that include Britney, he is way in front of the photo like he's been inserted? Like, it's the oddest thing. I can't explain it. It's like you'll see the line of people that are in the picture, and then Cade's body is like off to the side and in front of it and smiling. It's really strange. Like I said, again, if you want to look at some of these on my YouTube, I'll put the pictures in here. I can't make any freaking sense of it. All right, in a nutshell, I think that's enough of the Britney recap of the week. Thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't signed that petition yet, please do. justiceforbritney.net. There's a link to the petition right there on the website. Until next time, guys, on the next Decoding Celebrities. See y'all next Wednesday.